I had a chance to hang around Terence. I don't want to be biased. I don't want to sound like I'm hating or I'm mad at anyone. So when I say certain things, I'm not taking shots at no fighter. I'm just saying, speaking from the heart.
Terence Crawford against Floyd Mayweather at 47.
Floyd Mayweather's a GOAT. Oh, absolutely. But Terence Crawford will whoop his ass.
Man, I swear boxing is the only sport where even after the punches stop, the drama keeps landing shots. Crawford just took down Canelo, and instead of celebrating with champagne, he's out here roasting Floyd by calling him a runner.
Feel like you could knock out Mayweather, what would be the outcome of that?
Man, listen, man. That's the GOAT. He one of the GOATs, man. Like, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Mayweather. You know, I would never compare myself to Mayweather.
A runner. Forget track and field. Floyd might as well get a Usain Bolt sponsorship at this point. And you know Floyd. Whenever someone else takes the spotlight, he jumps in like, "Wait, don't forget me." It's the same energy as that uncle at a wedding who never stops reminding everyone he was once the best dancer in the family.
Like Canelo, this guy can do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing.
And yeah, Floyd's undefeated record will always earn respect. But let's be honest, if Bud's timing and switch hitting ever tested that shoulder roll, it stops being a defensive masterpiece and turns into a weakness. We both know this. Crawford doesn't just fight opponents, he breaks them down like an unsolvable math problem. And the funniest part? Floyd knows it. That's exactly why he's so heated.
And let me tell you one more thing, man, Max. Seriously. If I could take a prime Terence Crawford, this is how much I believe in this kid, and a prime Floyd Mayweather, with all the tools that Terence Crawford has, I will pick Terence Crawford to beat a prime Mayweather any day.
And just when Floyd probably thought the smoke was fading, Max Kellerman and Tim Bradley came along and threw gasoline on it. The two of them debated Mayweather versus Crawford like it was a Supreme Court hearing. And Bradley didn't just toss out an opinion, he stamped it. He straight up said, "I'm picking Crawford over prime Floyd." As casually as if he was ordering takeout.
Agree with that because I think Floyd at his best, because I think Floyd at his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter, but in those kind of matchups, I think defense usually beats the offense.
I don't, because Terence Crawford got more to bring. He got more to bring to the...
And Max tried to counter with the classic defense beats offense argument, but let's be real. Bud isn't just offense, he's the complete package. It's like comparing a tank to a shield. The shield looks solid, but once the tank rolls through, it's game over. And honestly, hearing Bradley speak with that kind of conviction made me pay attention. Because when a fighter that accomplished tells you Crawford cracks Floyd's puzzle, you can't just brush it off.
It controls distance, but Terence Crawford is also a master at distance. Terence Crawford has punching power to hurt Floyd Mayweather. We saw that in the Sam Tudor fight now.
Yeah, Shane too. Shane hurt him with the right hand. Yep.
And here's the kicker. This wasn't some hot take for clicks. Bradley looked dead serious. You could tell he's seen things in Bud's arsenal that make him believe it's not hype, it's real. Meanwhile, Max was clinging to Floyd's legacy like it was the last life jacket on the Titanic. And that's exactly why debates like this hit different. You and I get front row seats to legends going at it over other legends.
Floyd fights Shane in his prime. Do you think he fought him in his prime?
No.
Exactly.
And Zab wasn't quite a Shane-level fighter. That's true. Listen, it'd be a great match. It'd be a great matchup, no doubt. What you said about the other fighters who are avoiding him, those fighters are with Heyman in the PBC. But when you listen, and obviously you're not in a rush to throw your guy in with Terence Crawford if you can make money other ways at 147.
And just when Max and Bradley had us ping-ponging takes, Shane Mosley dropped a bomb, saying Floyd's power at 154 felt like Canelo's. Now hold up. Floyd was never remembered for sending guys into another dimension. He's remembered for making world-class fighters look ordinary. So if Sugar Shane is saying that, it means Floyd's punches had a lot more weight than people gave him credit for. But here's the thing, Crawford's not walking into that chess match blind.
When I fought Floyd, his power was really good. His power was actually it was the same speed and power as Canelo when I fought Canelo at 154. Floyd is, Floyd's strong and he has good power. Speed is deceptive.
Bud thrives on calculated risks, pushing forward and probing your defense until he finds the opening. And that's what makes this matchup so intriguing. Floyd's shoulder roll isn't just a move, it's an entire system designed to chip away at your confidence. But Crawford isn't the type to fold after missing a handful of counters. He'll adapt, he'll switch stance, he'll bait you right back. That's why this isn't just IQ versus IQ. It's pride versus patience. One man protecting the zero, the other out to prove he's the one who could have broken it.
He's a type that he's a type that he wants to get in there and try to knock you out. Those guys are at the same age and say whatever. If Crawford did the same thing, will that fight go to distance? That's a question we're going to ask. Will it go to distance? Or would Crawford have stopped Floyd in that situation?
If it ever went down, every jab, every faint grin, every tiny adjustment would feel like history being written in real time. Mosley's take had me nodding like, alright, fair point. But then Jim Lampley came in like the professor of boxing history and dropped a full lecture. And Lampley, he doesn't just talk, he teaches. He basically said, quit dreaming about fantasy fights. Let's talk about evolution. And he's right. Floyd versus Crawford lives in barbershop debates, not in the ring. But that's the beauty of it, it makes us choose sides. Do you believe in flawless defense, or in adaptive destruction?
Terence Crawford, I think, will turn out to be an all-time great. So it's a very hard fight to pick, and I think it would depend on at what moment in Mayweather's career and at what moment in Crawford's career are we talking.
And what I love is that Lampley wasn't just defending Floyd's legacy or hyping up Crawford. He was teaching, showing us how fighters evolve, how confidence builds, how one trainer, one night, one spark can change everything. You and I could debate Crawford's counters against Floyd's shoulder roll all day, but Lampley's real point is simple. Boxing isn't frozen in time. It's not a video game with fixed stats. These fighters grow, adapt, transform. And that's why fantasy matchups are always dangerous ground. Still, admit it, if Crawford ever cracked Floyd's shoulder roll with that nasty switch stance setup, you'd be jumping off the couch like it was a horror movie jump scare.
I didn't want to pick that fight until I saw at what moment in their careers such a thing would take place. It's always dangerous to pick utterly hypothetical fights that are never going to take place except somewhere.
And just when Lampley had us all philosophical, Carmel Modern walked in and dropped the mic. Floyd's the GOAT. End of story. No debate, no hesitation, just Floyd on top. And yeah, I get it. Respect the king, salute the perfection. But Crawford? Bud's pounding on that throne room door like he's dragging in new furniture, and he's not knocking politely. Floyd's greatness is precision, the 50 wins, the shoulder roll gospel. Crawford's greatness is chaos, switching stances, dissecting opponents like a surgeon with a vendetta.
Of course, nobody will ever. I feel like Floyd will always be the greatest of all time. Things have to really line up just so perfectly to be able to do what Floyd did and be all those world champions back to back. So, it's really hard to say that Floyd's not the greatest.
So when Martin says Floyd's untouchable, I hear it, I respect it. But I also see Bud lurking in the shadows like, cool story, but what if I crack the shoulder roll in 2025? That's the debate that keeps us all awake. You, me, every fan who lives for imagining Bud against the untouchable Floyd. And honestly, it's bigger than just skills. It's mentality. Crawford's hunger colliding with Floyd's legacy. You can't fake that kind of obsession, the drive to be the one who rewrites history. Every punch, every feint, every jab would be a chess move lit with fireworks.
Comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that
yes,
fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah, he's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ and that shit is crazy.
The funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Man, just when I thought the Floyd versus Crawford chess match had cooled, Greg Hackett came in and dropped the Canelo bomb. flat out saying Bud is way better than Floyd. And honestly, you can't just brush that off. Hackett broke it down clean. It's not only about speed, slickness, or living in the shoulder roll. It's about timing, power, and taking away your opponent's best weapons. Canelo's eyes saw it firsthand. Bud stepped in like a surgeon with a vendetta, catching shots, countering, even letting Canelo believe he had an opening before flipping the script. Floyd, sure, he was lightning, untouchable. But Bud? He made it look like Canelo could have done more, not like he was completely shut out. That's a subtle but savage difference.
Almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he's been doing and all that. Trust me, it's some wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying, I do give Bud his credit though for beating Canelo, and Canelo understands I am a better fighter today than I was back then. But that's hard to say because Floyd, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Bud took maybe 20% of what Floyd did and added that to his repertoire.
And let's be real, Hackett nailed it with the accomplishments angle. Crawford's now a 3-division undisputed king, stacking belts like Tetris blocks, while Floyd's legendary aura still hovers over the sport. It's like comparing a finely aged whiskey to a rare bourbon. You respect both, but they hit in different ways. What Hackett put on the table is exactly what fans have been itching to debate. Bud didn't just survive Canelo, he imposed himself, touched him up, made him think, made him hesitate. Floyd had the speed, the schooling, the untouchable mystique. But Bud? He's got the hands, the IQ, and the audacity to walk in and challenge history head-on. And if Canelo's saying it, with Hackett breaking down the why, you've got to sit up and take notice. This isn't just barbershop chatter, it's the blueprint for a debate that'll keep boxing fans fired up for years.
When Canelo fought Floyd, Canelo was in middle school. He wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Floyd by that time was already a Harvard graduate, you know what I'm saying? With Crawford, I felt like he maybe was saying, damn, I could have, if I would have threw this, or if I would have did that. So, I don't know, man. That's a tough discussion, to be honest, but I like what Bud Crawford did.
And after Greg Hackett laid out Canelo's take, Eddie Hearn came in sounding half proud promoter, half straight shooting fan. He admitted he thought Canelo might pull it off, only to eat his words watching Crawford own that ring. Gutted for Canelo, but buzzing that Bud finally got the stage to show just how special he is. Eddie kept it 100, Crawford looked clinical, imposed himself, and now his resume finally matches the hype. But Hearn also dropped a warning. This is the new Crawford era. He's going to want big money, and only certain fights will get him off that throne. And you and I both know, when a man becomes undisputed in 3 divisions, he chooses his moments, never the other way around.
It was an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Yeah, I'm gutted for Canelo, but I'm actually pleased that Crawford is getting the opportunity to show how great he is, because his resume hasn't really allowed that. Don't get me wrong, he's got some good wins, but he could have beaten so many more of the elite guys from his era. And now that was a big win for him. I mean, he's 38 years old. And that, to do that at that stage was very, very...
And then Eddie drops the matchmaker's dream. Crawford versus Jaron Boots Ennis. He called it one of the best fights American boxing can deliver, saying, "Boots is a real test, not a name you just skim past." That's the kind of showdown that either cements Bud's all-time status or gives us the most electric storyline in years. And Eddie's right about one thing: if you want history, the purse has to match the risk. So yeah, we want it, you want it, every fan wants it. Honestly, I'd pay just to watch 5 rounds of that chess match turn into a street fight. Because that's the fight that could either elevate Crawford to untouchable heights or leave the boxing world speechless.
Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
Alright crew, let's bring it home. Bottom line, Terence Crawford just shifted the entire conversation in boxing. Floyd Mayweather's legacy? Untouchable, no question. But Bud just showed us a new standard of timing, IQ, and adaptability. He didn't just survive against Canelo, he imposed himself. And now every matchup has a fresh benchmark. Crawford versus Jaron Ennis. That's the fight that could either lock him in as an all-time great or give us one of the most electrifying clashes in years. I want your takes in the comments. Could Crawford have beaten Prime Floyd? And is the Ennis fight the ultimate test or just another stepping stone? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Buzz for more of the hottest breakdowns and debates.